I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. What's going on? What's going on? I didn't plan on going live. As y'all can see, I look like a wolf and sort of beat up. But good news is the Los Angeles show is coming right along. As I told y'all, Lakeland, Florida is together. You know, it's going to actually be 10 shows there. So that'd be a beautiful thing, man. Beautiful, beautiful thing. And, I guess in general, things are moving along. So I don't have any beefs, so to speak, right now. I'm just enjoying life and working. And working is a good thing. And y'all, I know y'all like, what in the hell is he doing right now? I'm just tagging folks, man. I'm going to tell you, I'm really, really seriously not going to be on here like a million years this time. I'm just going to address this. I don't know if y'all got a chance to read this on the page, but a friend of mine, who supports our thoughts and our thought process on making healthy dogs, my boy Pushing Plates 24/7 on Instagram, Pushing Plates 24, then it's the _7, big time dog guy, but even bigger weight guy, He sent me a picture of him with one of the shirts on, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, shut that Raven shit up. And I put up the picture, and y'all can see it on the page. I put up the picture of him showing support for the movement that's now 3 or 4 years old. So this is what this dude, he takes that, which was a couple weeks ago. And this dude goes and writes a post. His name is Deji Lee. I don't know if it's a fake profile, probably not. But it Deji Lee. I don't know this guy. But he said, let me finally give you some clarity, people. This is him talking, not me. Let me finally give you some clarity, people. Even if you're bad or just ignorant person in general, you're still going to see this with the inner voice saying, yeah, that's fucked up. So straight to the point, when you spend money, yes, I said spend money to campaign, market, and promote a negative agenda towards a specific group, even if you try to put a positive spin on it. Politicians do this shit every day, by the way. This is him talking. And I'm not messing this up. This is just how the guy types. But you basically said you're set on destroying whatever, them or it, etc., by any means, regardless if you're wrong. I sort of get what he's trying to say, but he didn't write well. Yes, even if you're wrong. He emphasized that. So he said the fuck exotics is no different. Now, this is him. Y'all check this shit out, because this is the kind of dumb shit I had to deal with. Fuck exotics is no different than saying fuck niggers. And he put niggers. He didn't say niggas. Jews, women, and women's rights. He brought women into the shit, too. He was fucking niggers, Jew. And this is him. So y'all, hey, I'm just reciting this. Of course, y'all know I don't talk about that. Then he went on to say gays and lesbians. First of all, I thought that lesbians were gay, but etc. Respecting and honoring our breeds mean every drop of blood that exists and remotely is related, I'm done. This is what I'm going to say, man. The whole F exotics movement thing, yeah, I see the laughing faces. The whole F exotic movement, as I told y'all, and I've showed plenty of times, I got friends who have some dogs that they say they're exotics, but I technically don't consider their dogs exotics because they just don't look like exotics. They're too nice to be exotics. They look like extreme dogs or some shit. But for a person, first of all, to be that ignorant, to sit there and say that comparing someone saying fuck a dog is compared to racism, to sexism, to homophobia, is utterly ridiculous. Reaching would be one thing, but this is just utterly fucking ridiculous. It's stupid. It's stupid and it's insensitive. And hopefully a lot of people don't get offended because, when you got when you got dumb motherfuckers sometimes, mental limitations, we have to forgive. But I've clarified this many a times. If people were down or trying to, and y'all excuse me for that glare, I think I'm gonna move over here. But if people were down or trying to improve, exactly, Keith, trying to improve the breed, I would be 100% on board with you. I am not an exotic person, but yes, I do, any dog is my thing. Now, the reason why we started the exotic movement, let's get to the real topic. It was not about degrading anybody. The truth of the matter of what happened is point blank. We see what happens. These dogs live 18 months to 2 years old most times. These dogs have a hard time breathing. These dogs have a hard time walking. These dogs have a hard time living just in general. You know what I mean? The fuck exotic movement started, and trust me, we've sold a couple thousand shirts. A lot of people agree 100%, not based on a t-shirt, but based on the way that the exotic community has represented itself through the years, with very unhealthy, deformed dogs that really the whole entire movement is based off of dwarfism and Down syndrome. You can see it in the dog's face. This is why they can't control their tongues and their tongues are falling out their mouths. This is why a lot of them can't move. This is why a lot of them are having different issues with heat and breathing and all these other different issues. You are breeding an insufficient dog. It has nothing to do with anyone hating on you. And once again, it's funny, every time that one of these exotic people pop up out of whatever little cave they live in, they want to talk about money, and you heard it. And this shows what's going on, Mr. Woods. But this is a great example of the stupidity we deal with. We seen the videos of these guys at shows bouncing around with pimp suits on, and some people snatching their shirts off and flashing knives and bouncing around like it's some kind of gang summit, and all the time dancing around a dog whose ass is higher than his head and looking utterly ridiculous. And then we're the problem. Then they send their representative, whatever his name was, DG, or however you pronounce that, Deji. And man, you know what, Keith, the craziest part is I meant to hit you up the other day. I'm going to show you, when you see it, I ain't going to even take it out. When you see your package, you're going to be like, this motherfucker went through hell. And it can't, and it's at over here at the office / whatever now. But yeah, they finally sent it back, but that package went through hell. They told me to correct my handwriting, basically. But I tell you, did they send this guy, and he compares the exotic movement to racism, and then he uses racial slurs pretty much to describe the racism. And then, he gave us the great revelation that lesbians are not gay. So he had lesbians and gay in the same thing. And what else? Who else did he throw? Oh yeah, the women's right movement. We disgraced the fuck exotics is on the same level as disgracing the women's rights movement. I mean, this guy went in, didn't he? I mean, it was so ignorant that, like I said, I had to come on here and tell y'all about this shit, because who, in the first place, you know what I mean, would even think to compare a fuck exotic shirt? And he used the term, I ain't gonna even say the terms no more, but he used, the N-word, the real N-word. Then he put in, talking about Jewish people, and used the, somewhat slanderous term towards them. Then, he went into the homophobia and the women's rights movement. I didn't know what the hell he was gonna throw in there next. But all of this is the same thing as as me saying fuck exotics. No, it's very real, and and I don't have any problem attaching the fuck exotic shirt with the TBKC, because we feel that way. If you are promoting anything that is basically animal abuse, then we have to go this way, and we have to stand against you. Now, I will point out the fact that myself and people with the TBKC and other people around the world are not the only ones who feel like this. PETA has made references against y'all dog abusing asses and the way that y'all breed and mistreat the dogs, and that this type of breeding should be stopped. And it's one of the reasons, do some research, it's one of the reasons now that Facebook is going harder and harder on selling of animals on Facebook. And they were getting a push from animal rights groups. My veterinarians, matter of fact, I said veterinarians, but both of my veterinarians that I use have told me that at different seminars and different things that are going on in veterinary communities, they are talking about the exotics, and these have become the topic of discussions for bad breeding, and possibly, I already know one vet who refuses to even touch an exotic to do any breeding. Any type of breeding, and pretty much they're making a push inside of certain veterinary societies to basically not deal with these dogs or you people. A lot of you who are obviously breeding the dogs at 6, 7, 8 months because they can't live that long. So you're trying to push out a litter and get money as fast as you can. A lot of these dogs that can be diagnosed with many different issues, including sometimes mental issues, where the dog is totally gone. You see the dog just standing there and it stares off into space. This was the reason that the fuck exotic thing was made. Now, if you're trying to do something better with an exotic, congratulations to you. I hope it works out. I know a few people who call their dogs exotics, but like I said, they really don't fit this class. But I don't think you can fix a dog that's based off of totally bad genetics. You know, you can't fix dwarfism. You can't fix Down syndrome. You can't fix these things in a gene pool. All you can think you can water them down or spread them out, but over the last 5 years, have y'all seen anything that got fixed in the exotic community? Yes, the community gets bigger because of the Ponzi type scheme where everybody thinks they're going to get rich. But the truth of the matter is that y'all the worst animal abusers in the world. Y'all continuously breed these dogs at very young ages, no regard for the dog's health or well-being, or if you're going to make a dog that can even live. And the only thing you care about is what you get paid for them. This is the truth. What's going on, Mr. Royale? You know, this is the truth. This is the only reason. It's the reason why I don't have a fucking German Shepherd shirt, which some of them people need to stop too. But it's the reason why I don't have, F this shirt and F that shirt. It's because y'all are basically the greatest example of dog abuse, horrible breeders that I've ever seen. Honestly, y'all showed me the exotic that's 6 or 7 years old. Y'all movement started about 8 years old. Y'all showed me these dogs that's 7, 8 years old that's legitimate exotics. You know what I mean? Even y'all great leader, who was healthier than most exotics, Miyagi, they've had to replace that motherfucker 5 or 6 times. But you want somebody to get on board and talk about how great this thing is. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Only in the American bully community would people even have the nerve to put up, first of all, that motherfucker ignorant. But to put up a post, even if he would have wrote it correctly and not use bad terms and talk crazy and all this other shit, even if he'd have put up a good post, the simple fact that you would put up a post defending your actions of breeding horrible animals and then expecting respect from it, this only happens in the American bully community. And I do call them a part of the American bully community because they started with the American bully community. But this is the only community where you people have the gumption to talk shit and feel like that y'all entitled to get a pat on the back, coddled, or defended for doing the exact wrong thing in dog breeding. Y'all have no care about what y'all breed. Y'all have no care about the dogs. All y'all care about is the show. Let's make big gold trophies. Let's dance around. Let's get, comedian-like people to be the MCs at our shows, do all this, and then we stack our dogs on tables with fake grass, and the dogs can't move, and some of the dogs still fall out at the shows, even in air conditioned buildings. Then y'all want to make these fucking little banners and have the little wings on this dumbass dog. I mean, how many wing pictures is y'all gonna have? Rest in peace, little fucked up, and rest in peace, little damn to hell, and rest in peace, little crazy dog. I mean, the dog, I'll be damned. How many times? Eventually, y'all got to understand this. I don't care if y'all think I'm being insensitive or not. Y'all being insensitive by breeding them little fucked up dogs. You know the dogs is fucked up. You know this. Y'all can't find no exotics that's 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. You can't find that. They all die young. I've talked to several breeders. Who admitted it after the fact and walked away from the shit. My one dude in Florida had 30 of them bitches. Spent big money to try to keep that shit alive. I'm talking about big money to try to keep that shit alive. And he finally gave up. He told me $300,000-$400,000 in. He said, I had to give up, man. He said, I had to give up. So y'all know why he gave up. He had up to 30 of them little mugs, man. He was buying them like left and right. Just buying them. Putting the shit together. And he said it seemed like every week he come home, at least one of them, even in these nice conditions with all this shit he done paid for to keep him cool and all this, just falling over dead. No matter what he did, he couldn't keep him alive. This was somebody who, when I originally started the Fuck the Exotic thing, he cool ass dude, but he used to be in my inbox. He used to tell me, oh, you need to quit it with them shirts, man. Exotics ain't that bad. Don't y'all know, within a year, that man was in my inbox and told me, man, for real, let me get one of them shirts. I got rid of all this shit. It was too much. And this is real story. I'm not making this up. It's real story. He said I had to get rid of all that shit, man. I can't do this. He said it's a money pit. And that's all it was. Y'all ain't never, I challenge any of them mugs to show me 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old exotic. And don't go picking up shit that's the good exotics that y'all don't like. You know what I mean? Don't go over and don't go picking some of the dogs like some of my homies got that really ain't exotics. They just like nice bulldog mixes. Nah, y'all real exotics. Y'all little 3-inch dogs with the 6-inch rears and them big ass eyes and that tongue hanging out the side of y'all mouth. Y'all show me some of them. You know what I mean? Y'all done used every motherfucking karate name, every album name, every little. Y'all done had Michael Jackson. Y'all done had. They can't run motherfuckers over there running out of names because the damn dogs keep dying and they keep breeding. This is what this shit is about, man. See, I ain't lying. Several people that sold all their shit and got away from them dogs. It's no way. I'm telling y'all, I know y'all think I'm like this uneducated, stupid mother. I did go to medical school for 5 years. I wanted to be a vet. And I'm trying to tell y'all this, man. The traits that make that breed are Down syndrome and dwarfism. That's why you get the head structure that you get. That's why you get the look that you get, the crazy bone. But the crazy way that they're inbred and the issues of the genetics that have been put into the dogs, you can't change this. That's why you can't, I don't care what diet you feed. I don't care you can't breed that out. The way the bones are contorting and all this is a genetic clusterfuck. You can't breed it out. I know some of y'all, I'm with the healthy exotic movement, but check it out. And I'm not taking no shots, and I don't want y'all to say that. But the truth of the matter is, even a lot of the people that I hear pushing the healthy exotic movements, they fucking dogs keep dying. This is the truth. If y'all tell me I'm lying, I'll stop. If y'all can prove to me I'm lying, I'll stop. But even the people who pushing the healthy exotic movement, they dogs is dying. You know why? Because y'all got ticking time bombs. They genetically are made to die. Those dogs can't survive. The reason we preach that your dog should be able to get out, run around, and do the things that a normal dog do, because those are signs of life and health. Those dogs live longer. The reason your dogs are dying is because you have bred a dog with the intentions of death. It's not you comparing this shit to racism and sexism and what else he do? Homophobia and all that. He's a fucking idiot, man. It ain't that serious. This is somebody telling you the truth. Exotics are pieces of shit dogs. I don't care who gets mad. All of y'all is over there profiting off of animal abuse. That's it. The dog has no purpose. It has no longevity. This dog is built to die. And the only thing that it's good for is live long enough that I can get a check before your little ass die. That's it. If any of them son of a bitches want to argue about it, if any of y'all want to whip out a knife and all that other dumb shit y'all talk about, you know I'm the right guy for the madness. But I'm going to tell you the truth. All of them. Y'all go through their rosters. Last year's big dogs. 2 years ago's big dogs. Now they got little wings on them. Either that or they changed their color. the color pattern and everything else. But I'm just being real with you. This is the truth. I'm giving them truth. This is why this shit hurts. This is why it hurts. Same reason why when I talk about some of these American bullies, it hurts because it's the truth. We gotta, you know what I mean? We gotta accept the truth to do better in our community. And the reason why I don't beat up on the shorty bulls is because the shorty bulls are not like that. The shorty bulls were based off of health. You know, I can't wait till Jamie comes out, Miss Sweet, and she lets y'all know, you know, the process. I know a lot about the process and even the physical trials that they were putting their dogs through when they created that breed. You know? Chris said, hey, I want to see it, man. I want to see a zebra change them stripes. You shave that damn zebra and guess what? That boy bald with stripes. This is it. It's no changing this, man. I've been to seminars. I didn't talk to really just dog breeders on this. I actually talked to a lot of, you know, medical experts. I talked to a lot of people who deal heavily in genetics. You know, I was down at the LSU campus getting some information not long ago. You know, Ohio State, go Buckeyes. You know, everybody I've ever had a chance to talk to about these issues, they basically say the same thing, but we in our community are so much smarter than everybody else that breeds an animal in the world that we believe that we can change genetics. You cannot change genetics. You know, you are very well respected, you know what I mean? Well, he's a veterinarian, but at the same time, he does breed, you know, but he breeds a different animal. I don't like to give up my sources, but I'll tell you, you know, he breeds a very serious animal. And one of the lessons that I got, you know, in having an opportunity to speak with this man back in Ohio was this. He said, you don't add a problem to the pot. And you know what I'm saying, to expect to get a solution. You know, and I was like, it's that simple, huh? He said, it's that simple. He said, when you see something is wrong, you get away from it. You know, I've told y'all this a lot, you know, R.I.P. Ed Shepherd. Respect. That was, you know, I know Ed for a long time. It's nothing against Ed, you know. Definitely wouldn't be that way. But I told y'all this a long time when it came to Dax. It was the same thing. All these people, oh, I love Dax. I love Dax. I love Dax. It was one of the greatest mistakes ever made in our community. Maybe the biggest mistake. Has there been some good dogs that come from Dax? Absolutely. There's some dogs that I like. But you cannot put bad ingredients in and expect it to disappear. Up front, you'll get a certain look, but the ticking time bombs are still there. The only way to perfect any kind of, breeding process is to eliminate all flaws. Not add in bad hips, not add in bad hearts so you can get one quality. That is asinine. That is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. And with Dax, we did that heavy. We all believed that you could just get his neck and his shoulders. This is the American bully community for you. I liked his neck, the big ass neck he had, and them big ass shoulders. I liked it. But we honestly thought that we were so good that we could go in the back room, jack our dog off, shoot it in the bitch, and somehow in that process, we eliminated the heart defects, the high rear, the bad top line, and everything else. We just shot a neck and a motherfucking set of shoulders into this dog. That's what y'all believed? That's what y'all believed. Anybody want to argue this shit with me? Y'all believe that that's what you did. So what you do is when you look at the line of dogs that are Dax, you see the same issues. They have the same issues. I don't care who gets mad, who gets offended. Mother had you, motherfuck you. It's the truth. If you look at dogs like G-Train, if you look at some of the other dogs, some of the same issues, even the best of them, some of the same issues pop back up. Early death due to cardiac issues, hip issues. The neck is an important look, but King Kamali had a big neck. This is the science of breeding. That's like the little the little tempting fruit hanging from the tree. This is the hardest thing about breeding. I'm going to give you something that is so tempting that you want to add it to your dog. But At the end of the day, I'm going to give you everything wrong with your dog. You know? It's Alex. I'm giving you facts. I'm giving you facts. Y'all talking about Dax changed this, Dax changed that. The reality of it is Dax created a movement. Dax deserves his spot, but we can't be realistic. Look at the dogs like El Toro, one of Dax's most popular best sons. Turn him to the side and see what you get. Turn him to the side and see what you get. The same high rear, and he has hip issues. You can see it in his rear end movement. Do we want to talk about all of the issues of the hearts that came along with G-Train? Do we want to talk about that? Do we want to talk about the weird number of high-profile Dax sons that were dead before the age of 5? Do we want to talk about that? We don't. We would rather live the beautiful lie than to face the ugly truth. I don't have a hate for a dog. I have a love for a breed. That's why I say what I say. The reason why I don't talk about certain dogs is because they're not bringing those same issues to the table. We don't want to talk about all the dogs that died from heart issues, heart murmurs. Let's not forget the great legendary Dax himself fell out trying to fuck at a young age, in his prime. What was he, 5, 6 years old? Dead, trying to breed. This is what y'all want? This is what's going to make a superior breed. We're not going to talk about whole litters getting put down because they got bad hips. But in the Rottweiler community, you get every dog tested for their hips, and if it ain't a good, we're not breeding it. It's a difference. It's levels to this shit. In the Rottweiler Doberman community, I got 2 big ass Dobermans, pin hip everything. I got 7 generations on my dogs back there of every damn hip issue that ever came along. Every dog in their generation either got a good hip. So guess what? All of my Doberman's hips from 7 generations back, and then probably longer than that. That's all I paid attention to was the 7 generations. If they got good or excellent, guess what I'm going to get? You talking about grandma, great-grandma, great-great-grandma, great-great-grandma, great-great-great-grandma. All of them. All of them. What's going on, Fernando? Hey, I'm gonna message you when you get off here. I gotta give you this new number. We over here, some things is working out. I gotta go work it out right after this. But what do you get? This is why the exotic can't work. You got a bunch of bad genetics. Genetics do not work where you get to pick and choose. I'm telling y'all, this is like the greatest trick in the history of man to say that Dax was like this super great producer. He was a producer of certain great qualities. I admit that. I'm telling y'all, I've seen some dogs off of him where I'm like, woo. But guess what it comes with? Guess what it comes with? You know what, Derek, you are correct. You say you can't take back what is done, but the smart ones learn from what's been done. You don't keep doing the same thing over and over again. The reason that the top lines, now y'all keep in mind, and I'm not being arrogant when I say this, but keep in mind, I'm going to tell y'all, because some of y'all don't know me. The very first, very first American Bully champion. I showed her, I owned her. Basically 63 show wins. The bitch didn't really lose. One show that we all know about, the Fix Virginia show, that was the show she lost. She lost to a damn rat terrier or some shit in her age group. But, you know, Hallie was the very first champion. I showed her. I know the breed up and down. I helped with the original part of this breed. If we go back to that era, well, see, this is the funny part when you say that, BJ. Easy Rider is how old? How old? This is what I'm saying. We have to learn. Straight Stifles was Hef's thing. What's going on, Rico, Brandon? You know what I mean? Straight Stifles was Hef's thing. You know, when you dealt with Paco, You had to be very careful on which edge dogs you bred him to because Cairo's papers was hung so you could run into inbreeding when you didn't even think it was inbreeding, and it could get heavy, which Cairo, of course, was his grandfather, but we ain't gonna talk too much about the conspiracies over there, but I know them to be factual. But this is the problem. If all we had to worry about was a couple bad joints back in the day, a couple stifles, but the dogs, and those who've been around can tell you this. Rico been around. Rico can tell y'all. 15 years ago, we didn't even have shows in buildings most times. We ain't had no damn, it was rare. That was a big day. If we had shows in buildings, it was like Christmas. We was outside in places like Houston, Texas, damn near Miami, Florida. I say damn near because it was outside Miami, Florida. Los Angeles. We was in places where it was 100 degrees. And most times you didn't even have a fucking swimming pool with ice in it. The dog, you know what I mean? The dog never had to be sprayed down, never had to be wet. I tell this story, and I'm going to tell y'all this again. If y'all ever see Monster J in pictures don't do the dog justice. The dog was big as shit. But I'm out there in Pomona, right? Pomona, California. This is an outside show. They tied Monster J to a tree. Now, he had some shade, but Monster J was one of the meanest dogs that dog was mean as shit. Let's just be realistic. You take Monster J, you take King Lion, you take Remy's dad, Blue or Ruckus, and you throw them in the pen, and you ain't gonna get nothing about that bitch but hamburger. Cause all them dogs was mean as shit. But now I'm talking about I was in Pomona at that show. Yeah, literally, that's about 15 years ago. This dog, I'm not kidding y'all. I'm promising y'all. I put my whole reputation on that. That dog was out there for 3-4 hours. They put caution tape around the dog. He barked, jumped, lunged, everything that moved by. His dog's going to buy him, but he mean as fuck, but they wanted the people to see him. Keep in mind, it's so sweaty out here, I'd have had to change my shirt 2 or 3 times. On that day, Memo had me showing Tonka. That dog barked for 4 hours, jumping, lunging, acting a stone cold damn fool in 90+ degree weather. Yeah, he had shade, but this was damn near 100-pound dog, showed his ass. Tonka was there. No special treatment for Tonka. Rock from the notorious Rockin' Ruby, he was out there, 110, 115-pound dog. No special treatment. As a matter of fact, I forget the brother's name, but the dude out there in LA that's real cold with the protection work, he had 100-pound dogs out there doing protection work in the sun. This 15 years ago. He had 100-pound dogs. I wish John Easterly wasn't somewhere putting a building together. He would tell y'all, this man had 115-pound, 100-pound, big-ass dogs out there. Big dogs working in the sun. These was American bullies. At this same show, you had El Jefe. You had King Lion, another hot dog. Everything that came off that King Lion shit, they was hot in the right way. These dogs is out walking around, mingling. I could keep on naming these dogs. What's his name? Oh, man. I forget Eddie's dog's name. Eddie don't kill me. But you know what I'm saying? But Eddie from Blue Line had his big Jalisco and them. These 100-pound dogs. They out there in 95-degree weather. And exactly, Andrea. Mandela flip over on his stomach and sunbathe still. Denzel do too. These dogs running and moving around. And for the whole entire show, I'm telling you, you didn't see bad high rears, bad top lines, dogs that look like hot dogs. Where's Gary Moore at? Where's Mr. Moore at? He will tell y'all this. We did not see that shit. This is why if you old school, and some of y'all are, going back 15 years, if you was going to them shows, this is why a lot of y'all, what y'all call old heads get offended by what we see. Because the dogs just, Remy was out there. If anybody know about the legendary Remy, he was another dog that didn't take no shit. Exactly. A lot of English bulldogs can take the weather. The truth of the matter is that we are failing to face the truth that's in front of us, that we have failed this breed because our breed in its most important feature has went backwards. Let's call it two most important features. Backwards. Health and structure. Of course, the third in that thing is temperament. I actually believe that the temperament on most of these dogs have gotten better. Because, y'all know, like I was telling you, most of the older dogs are hot. Everybody wanted to fight somebody. So so now I noticed that the dogs aren't quite as dog aggressive as they used to be, you know what I mean? Which is a good thing. And I give them credit. We progressed in making dogs less dog aggressive, which the American Bully is supposed to be less dog aggressive. But we have digressed over the last 15 years at an incredible clip on the quality of the dog. I'm telling you, I was at every show. Like I told y'all, Hallie, if we brought Hallie into today's, and those who've seen her, I tell y'all 100%, I'm not telling the truth. She would sweep, she would still, today, it would be easier for her to sweep everything today. It would be easier. No high rear, damn near flawless movement, no cow hawk, no turn paws, tight paws, 15 and a half inches, 90-pound bitch, 24 and a half. Come on, man. I'm disappointed in myself because I have not made better than her. I'm telling y'all my story. I'm disappointed in myself. Of course, I fucked them some things along the way and my program, got derailed, but I'm back. But the truth of the matter is that what our dogs were those years ago, most of them are not now. People don't even like to have outside shows no more. People worry about, we're frightened of outside shows. Everybody's looking for a building. Everybody's looking for maximum amount of shade because our dogs can't live in them conditions no more. I mean, BJ, that's what a lot of American bullies used to, they love the heat. I'm telling you, mostly every dog, this has been 23 years now. I have never, in 23 years of breeding dogs, I'm being honest with y'all, I have never had a dog that was my dog overheat. I had one dog that I bought from this individual when I got down here, and the bitch was overheating at night. And I chalked that money up that I spent on that bitch, and I never bred her again. Never. I ain't gonna say never bred her again. I never bred her. He tried to breed her before, but the bitch couldn't breed the bitch. I don't do that, man. I don't do that, And the thing about it is it's cool if you don't like the heat. It's cool if your dog don't like the heat. But can it survive? Survival is the main thing in nature. Survival of the fittest. Can your dog survive? Do you have to do the Mr. Beans thing and have ice packs and ice capes and spraying the dog down? That is not the way for a dog to live. That's animal abuse, man. If you creating this knowing that your dog is going to be in constant suffering, you're doing a bad job. I'm going to tell you, the overall thought on the American Bully gene pool is that it's garbage. But the original elements that could make better dogs are still there. A lot of people still have beautiful, Rich, you ain't even got to tell them about that over there. Don't hurt their feelings. But a lot of the original elements are still there. It's a lot of still very, very good dogs. Even as we talk about Dax, there are a lot of very good elements that people could progress on this, but they don't understand how to breed away. You're right. What has been done, we can't fix. But the one thing about it is we have to understand that it's a problem with certain dogs. I just talked to a young guy the other day, and we were talking about he had a heavy Dax on one half, heavy Remy on the other half. This is the thing that he had to understand. And I told him, no, that's not a bad pedigree, but this is the problem. As far as the dogs, both dogs were big name dogs. But Dax, known for health issues. Hip issues. Remy's father had terrible hips. That dog I was talking about, Blue, he had terrible hips. Maybe some of the worst hips that we've ever seen. So if you start to breed, two dogs heavily in the pedigree to have these issues, the chances of your dog having these issues are going to be incredible. It doesn't matter whose name it is. I know Remy is a sexy name. I love Remy. Dax is a sexy name. He's put it down from time to time. But moving forward, we must learn to breed away from any issues. If we see these issues, we have to start eliminating them and not making excuses. The high rear, and one of the reasons why I stick on the high rear is a sign of structural damage. Most dogs don't keep their movement well with high rears. It's the extra stress on the hips. It's the extra stress on the spine. Throughout life, eventually there are going to be other problems. That's why this is important. If y'all watch some of my bully rants, it's the same thing. I tell you, the reason for the importance of the elbows. Some of y'all love sports so much, so y'all constantly hear about people tearing ACLs. If that elbow is not directly up under that shoulder where it needs to be at, that means there's a almost crazy amount of stress on the ACL to hold that elbow in. Most times our dogs end up tearing ACLs. The American Bully is now an epidemic of torn ACLs. Well, I just talked about one recently with a friend of mine. It's something that's becoming an issue to where these dogs are tearing themselves apart. The American Bully can keep going the same way and they'll be exotics. It's just that simple. If we keep on ignoring, and this is why this show ring is so important, structure is health. I'm going to be honest with y'all. You have, let's say, 75% chance that if you have a beautifully structured dog, it's a healthy dog. I'm just being honest with you. I've never seen, well, let me say not never, but the grand majority of dogs that I've seen who've had excellent health have excellent structure. It's just that simple. They're built perfectly to move. All weight is displaced perfectly where it's supposed to be. These dogs can live a good, healthy life. You can have a wide chest and still have the proper setting on the legs. No extra stress on the shoulders. It just has to be put together right. You can have a beautiful wide rear. Man, Rico, you better say it. You better say it. We got to preserve it. Right now, I know, we talked about gene pool, and this is what the TBKC is doing. We talked about that idiot. For those who missed it, we had a guy who decided to write a long thing talking about the F exotic movement was comparable to racism and homosexual. What would he say? Hating homosexuals and hating lesbians, who I thought that was this. I don't know. He was pitiful. But, anything that I'm against is just unhealthy dogs. The TBKC is going to be against unhealthy dogs. This is why we're promoting so many physical activities. One of our judges right there, Rico, is going to be one of the main guys to help me out with the weight pool and finally getting this thing together. Everything is about health. Everything is about furthering the animal. In our registry, we would love to see, and we will see, our American Bullies will be able to run. Our American Bullies will be able to move. Our judges are very strictly going to be prompted that if you hear a dog that is not breathing correctly and seems to be laboring under, just to be in the ring, kick them out. That's not a healthy dog. We will not put a ribbon on that, and we will not let that dog participate. And I don't mean if your dog is huffing and puffing a little bit, nerves get going, but y'all have heard those dogs with that, That's not allowed in the show ring. I don't know what that is, but that's not allowed in the show ring. It's obvious the dog is laboring to breathe. Why would you stop shows like many of these people do? And you're promoting bad health. We promote good temperament too. We promote good. We promote good temperament. I'm gonna tell you. Like I said, it's some Dax dogs that I like. It is. It doesn't mean just because you have a Dax dog. I mean, Chewy got a Dax dog that I like. It doesn't mean that because you have a Dax dog that everything is over with. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying in reference to Dax is the good breeders of Dax blood understand his issues and breed away from him. It's just that simple. If you've got a Dax dog, you should breed to another dog. If you love that giant neck so much, breed to a clean dog that has, that has that neck or a similar big ass neck to complement that gene, but also has all the other stuff to counter the bad effects that could happen, including being very, very diligent and making sure that no heart murmurs or lung issues or anything of that nature is in this dog's pedigree. That's the way you breed. You know, it's not to say if you have a dog that, I mean, every dog is going to have its issues. But if we're going to progress as a breed, a real breeder sits down, knows its dog's issues, knows its dog's genealogy issues, and finds things to match the positives and eliminate the negatives. That's progression. If you can, and that's what it has to be. I mean, with my dogs, we have little row behind it, you know. We have gargoyle behind it. Kink tails can be a thing. One of the reasons I've never picked a lot of dogs, my brother, Mighty Wisdom, you know, one of the reasons I've stayed away from kink tail dogs, you know, since I've done those earlier breedings, is because I know that in my blood, if we double up on that gene, I can throw some bad tails. So the next process was to constantly stay away from those dogs with those tails. You know, most of the breedings that we did with Denzel were to blood that, you know, tails were never an issue. That's the only way that you can get away from it. It's not lying like most people do and say, oh, it was nothing wrong with Dax, or it was nothing wrong with Gargoyle's tail, or that's stupid. That's how you end up with bad dogs. I mean, yes, Dax had bad hips. He had some issues with the cardiovascular system. You breed towards the better gene pool to pull it up out of there, you know? I mean, you know, we're probably about 20 years away from even coming close to having that kind of level of consistency to even approach the AKC. I know a lot of AKC people, and a Gargoyle is Denzel's father. He's a Paco's son. But I know, you know, a lot of good people with the AKC who actually, some of them have taken me under their wings, and they say the same thing. We first have to establish an identity. You know, what is the American Bully like? Something that we've talked about before. Something that, you know, Andrea made a very nice thing that it has Pokemon on there for the TBKC not long ago. And that head structure is something that we're going to start pushing more and more. Your dog has to have an identifiable American Bully head. Your dog cannot look like a bulldog, and your dog cannot look like a pit bull. The pit bull is not a bad thing. We love the pit bull too. But the American Bully is not supposed to look exactly like the pit bull. We have to define our breed. You know, when you see a German Shepherd, you know it's a German Shepherd. You know, when you see, you know, a Chihuahua, it's a damn Chihuahua. So we have to establish identity first, and then in that same process, we have to establish quality. Because I'm going to promise you this: a lot of y'all who have the dreams of us getting to the biggest playing field, the AKC would never accept the shit that we do right now. It's just that simple. The American Bully breed, I've talked, you know, like I told you, I talked to Mr. Jack Ireland several times and several other very, very good judges. And they all say the same thing. One of the biggest problems that we have in our community is that we have people who believe that they can do whatever they want to and rewrite rules whenever they want to. He said, you don't have a breed. What y'all have is, you know, and this is what I was told. You don't have a breed. You have a bunch of individuals just doing what they want to do under a breed's name. You know, we cannot totally change the dog. 1 second it can't look half exotic, half extreme, part Frenchie, part English bulldog, part this, part that, and call it a breed. Eventually it has to get to a point that it has one look. Now you might get small different variations because a lot of breeds have that. The Rottweilers like that. As tight as they are, if you look at some of the head shapes with the Rottweilers, they're slightly different, but you know what it's supposed to be. It's small variations, but not a whole different look, a whole different breed, and that can't be accepted. Right now, the reason why the American Bully is a joke worldwide and we have a lot of work to do is because, I mean, if you look around at the dogs, people are promoting everything, you know? Miyagi was called an American Bully. Now, how could Miyagi and, you know, King Kamali and Rocco and, you know, it's just three totally different looks. And you promoting all these dogs as American Bullies. And we could keep on naming off dogs. I mean, we could go back to the older dogs, you know, and the head structures on the older dogs were a lot more consistent than what we see now. This is what I'm telling y'all. We went backwards. If you go back 10, 15 years, the dogs was there. I mean, the TBKC, if you want to sum up what we would be is, fixing the breed and upholding the integrity. Giving the American Bully a real show community. Now we do have a ton of other breeds, but, upholding the integrity, not only of the show ring, but of the breed. At no point in time can we even think about selling out. Our judges will never be for sale. Our integrity will never be for sale. And we've already shown that we don't have a problem pulling ribbons and no dogs winning. And if that hurts people's feelings and they don't want to show under us again, once again, we don't care about the $20 or $25 or whatever it is. We care about the dogs. And the people who do care about the dogs and who are serious about making whatever dog that you have a serious dog, the TBKC is going to be for them. I've said this, and I wasn't never trying to be arrogant or standoffish, but a lot of people in this community will not like the TBKC, and it's for good reason. Most people won't like the TBKC because we have been trained over the last decade that we can do whatever we want. Our high rears don't matter as long as you got the right handler. Your dog not performing well doesn't matter. Your dog's obvious DNA questions don't matter. Nothing matters as long as you know the right person and you're willing to pay your fees. We're changing that. We're changing that. Everything must be DNA'd. Everybody will be held accountable, no matter how big your name is. We gotta fix some things, man. The main thing that we're enforcing, first and foremost, every single dog has to be DNA tested. Every single dog has to be DNA tested. That's the first thing. To me, that's a major thing. It's amazing to me that other registries have ran from that. Every single dog, we need a profile on it. You won't be mixing and doing whatever you want. No, we need a profile on that right now, sir. Give me that. That's the first thing, the honesty. Second thing is our judges are going to be way different. Y'all, everybody keep bringing up AKC. We're going to have AKC type of judges. Not only because our community is not just an American Bully community. We've already got our first show that's going to be scheduled that's not an American Bully show. And some of the judges that y'all will be showing under are not American Bully judges. You will be showing under sometime Rottweiler judges. You will be sometimes showing under giant. I've even got me a giant Schnauzer specialist. So you're going to be judging under people who know conformation, who understand how to study who understands how to study a standard and strictly just judge your dog by a standard. Because the funniest thing that we've gotten into a habit of is believing that it's dog versus dog. It's not. When you step in, I'm going to say this real fast because it's time for me to prepare lunch for my babies. But when you step into that show ring, right? If you step into the show ring, your dog is just on an island by itself. Your dog is totally on the island by itself. And the only thing that's on that island with your dog is the standard. Either your dog fits this standard or he doesn't. Hey, Chris, tbkcdogs@gmail.com. Send me some locations. I'd love to get to Minnesota. We're working right now. Before this week is out, I'll have it up to 20 shows. So let's work. You know what I mean? Let's work. tbkcdogs@gmail. Send me some locations. I'll get some sponsors together and we'll get a show out there too. Any of y'all who got places in your area, we trying to expand, and get out here and really work our asses off and get this community something that's got some integrity. So, Rhode Island, we coming back. We just put everything. Trust me, Rhode Island, y'all gonna see us. My brother Danny is there, and we'll be in Rhode Island a couple times a year. I'll probably start working on that in a couple weeks. I got to get some more money together. But registering with us is very, very simply the same way as it is with the ABKC and other registries. We need a copy of your other dog's paperwork from whatever registries they're from, and if you haven't registered with both, if you got, say, UKC for the mom, ABKC for the dad. Okay, Rico, I hit you up. Give me about an hour. I gotta cook, but it's pretty simple. You can email all that information to tbkcdogs tbkcdogs@gmail, or there is a forum on tbkcdogs.com. And I like the email thing because everybody's been answering that. It's constant updates on the website as we really get this thing together. So, yes, October the, what is that, 19th. Yeah, Jersey, October the 19th. We will be there. And right now it looks like probably September 21st or 28th is now going to be 2 hours. Okay. I'm just text you for you had a number, man. I forgot the other day. Sorry about that. But that'll be LA. Florida has 3 shows already set up. The 31st of August, the 12th of October, and I think it's the 16th of November. These dates is getting to me, but we working. We'll get it, man. We'll get it. Salem County Fairgrounds. Yeah, Salem County Fairgrounds. That's gonna be a good show. That's gonna be a real good show. That show in particular will be, I tell you what, that's going to be a good show because we are going to do a lot of Halloween things there. That'll also be the breast cancer awareness show. So you'll see a lot of pink and different costumes. And, we coming up with some themes for these shows, but that'll be a good show. And I'm not going to announce the sponsor yet, but he's big in that area, so we're expecting a real good turnout. So y'all get all these updates and y'all start seeing the flyers. And actually, if you stay anywhere in them areas, you'll see the flyers on the ground too, because we mailing out to a lot of different businesses around there. But hey, y'all, I'm going to jump off here, man. Y'all pray for that brother with them exotics, and hopefully he get up out of his feelings, man. But yeah. I'm definitely gonna go to the Jersey show. They actually changed my guys actually changed up the date so I can make it to the LA show too. So yeah, I'll be at. It look like I'm gonna be at a lot of these shows, man. But not everyone. Sometimes y'all gonna have John Easterly there as the main guy. Sometimes it'll be Danny Navoa as the main guy. And as this thing goes, you'll see Andrea, and you'll see the whole host, Chewy, Rico. But right now, it's still the same. Even though John has his registry, you'll see either myself, Danny, or John, and another judge most times. And sometimes you'll see us all together. Hey, Mark, hey, same here, man. Hopefully we can, have some time outside. I'm trying to set up a place where we can have like a meet and greet or something the night before the show. Show days are terrible, man. Reno, what's going on, brother? I'm jumping off here, man. The drunk tank, man, that'd be my after party thing. But hey, man, God bless all y'all. Like I told y'all, man, most importantly is that, man, y'all love y'all people, man. Let's spread more love. I get hyped up sometime, but it's depressing to look on this thing and see people talking about hurting each other and arguing about some damn dogs. We know what we supposed to do. We don't got to be spreading all this hate, man. It's enough hate in this damn world as it is. But until next time, I promise y'all, I'm working on the radio show, getting back on. All I got to do is get a house phone. Much love. Peace.